conditional statements. Okay, you will get the recordings today. Uh, Today we will do loops. Okay, once loops is done, after this, most of the things will be like related to optimization and all. Like for example, tomorrow when we will do functions, in functions, creating a function is basically easy stuff. But inside the functions, the operations that we will be doing will be the concepts that we have learned till now, like data types and conditional statements and loops that we will be learning today. ID, operators, everything. Okay, and followed by that, every class that we will be having, okay, will be completely based on the things that we have learned till now and that we will learn today. Okay, so once loops is done, the basic part of Python is over, and after this we can just have to get through, use all these concepts uh, to do functional stuffs. Okay, like creating function is like using these things only. Okay, so let's start. So first of all, what are loops? Okay, so loops basically, we use this, these are basically fundamental constructs. Okay, and we use this in programming so as to execute some block of codes repeatedly, but we don't like write things repeatedly. Like it is for uh, you know, reducing the jargon of writing things repetitively. Like for example, if we are doing a multiplication table here, okay, then we have to like do it like we have to declare a variable n, and then we will ask n input, give a number like the user's input, so 1 2 3 4 whatever, and then we have to write like n into 1 2 3 4 like this, and then print them. Okay, but that is not a very prudent method. Okay, that is not a that method is very like you know, repetitive. That's a repetitive task and very inefficient also, and that's why we use loops. So if you are asked to define what are loops, okay, you can explain in this way, and you can in scientific, in computer terms, you can write that these are fundamental constructs in programming. Every programming language uses this, because uh, motto of all the programming languages is to help us do functions that simplifies our daily life. Okay, so execute a block of code repeated repeatedly. Okay, so now there are several types of loops. The things that we will be studying in loops are basically while loops. Okay, and secondly, we will do study range function. Okay, what is the use of range? Okay, then we will do for loop, and yeah, mainly these things are like while loops and for loops are type of loops, and range is a function which is used for various purposes. Okay, and then we use break and continue statements, which I'll explain. These are very easy things, break and continue statements. Okay, so mainly these things are there, and yeah, obviously, just like we have studied in flow control, nested if else, here also we have nested loops, which means we run tasks inside a block of codes. Like you know, when you're already executing certain task, and on top of that you want based on that already proceeding task, you want to execute another set of tasks depending on it, a secondary stage of task depending on the primary stage, then you use nested loops. Okay, so the basically the syntaxes are very easy. Okay, so we will do, so let's say we are doing while, let's say while loops. Okay, so if someone asks what is the you know, the syntax of while statement, then you can write it as while condition test. So you have to give a condition here, then you have to definitely give a colon. Okay, then you give indentation, and then you give statement one, and you can give two three statements, like for example uh print statement and all. Okay, whatever is needed to do the task. Okay, now let's say let's do a simple task on this. Okay, let's say I want to print certain word or a term. Let's declare I is equal to 0. Okay, what is I? Let me write inside. I is a counter variable. Okay, which is initialized to 0. Okay, now you can initialize it to various to other numbers also, but that depends on the requirement on the task. Okay, so it can be initialized to 2, 3, 4, whatever. Okay, and it is and the while loop checks if I uh, is less than a certain number. Okay, or whether it fits the certain task, then it if the condition is true, then it go you know it gives the go ahead to execute. So after that we write while, just like the syntax, the condition test. Let's say while I is equal is less than 5. Okay, not equals to, less than 5. Then we print, let's say biocode collection. Okay, let's this term. Okay, and we give it as an increment operator. I is equal to I plus 1, which means it will keep increasing every time. Okay, now let's run this. Yeah, so one, two, three, four, 5. Okay, so let me explain you. For See, here it is given I less than 5, which means it should be it should run from 0 to 4. So why this I is equal to I plus 1 is given? It is a statement told to like increase every time, like not to increase, like go to the next step. Like for example, I have already done one step. Okay, then the next, then the next, then the next, till where? Till I is less than 5. So it counts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you count from 0, these are 5 places that the result printed. Now, for example, I'll do remove this, and let's say I is less than 7. So this gives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you understood. But let's say if we, instead of I plus 1, what if we give I plus 2? What does it give? Let's see. Whether it gives a syntax error? No. So what happened is I plus 2 means it started skipping a step, which means it skipped 3 steps. Means first 0, then it skipped 1, and then 2, then skipped 3, then 4, then skipped 5, then 6. Okay, finally 4 places are filled up. 4 memory locations are filled up with biocode fusion. So this is the task. So this is what while loop is used for. Okay, now let's say okay, after this the use of range. Okay, for range we need to understand for loops, only then we can do the range. Okay, let's go to for loops. uh, cool. Okay, so what is the use of for loop? For loop is basically it is used to iterate through a sequence. Okay, it can be a list, tuple, strings, range of numbers. Okay, and it allows us to execute a block of code for each item in the sequence. Cool. So let's say I declare, first let me write the definition properly. So we forget, the for loop in Python is used to iterate through a sequence. Okay, a sequence can be a list, can be a tuple, as you have learned those things, a string, set, or a any range of numbers, let's say. Okay, let's say 1 to 10 or something like that. Okay, so it allows a block of code to iterate through each item. Okay, now syntax, if we come for the syntax, okay, let's write it here only. Syntax. So how we write? So with a for the variable that we have declared before in iterable, here we give the range. Okay, iterable. Then let's say we give statements. Okay, that can be any number of statements depending on the requirement of the problem. Okay, now let's say I'll do an example here. uh L is equal to, I'll make a list, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, then I'll say for x in L. Okay, now L is already here, the range is this whole thing. Okay, right now in this one, so we will print x. Okay, this is a very simple thing, it will just print the list. Okay, that's all. But here is it is not repeating any item. Okay, so let's say this is iteration through a list. Let's see an iteration through a string. Okay, in iteration through a string, iteration basically sequence of characters as you know it. Let's say we declare s at a variable and say tvc. Okay, only this. Then we will write for x in s, which is a range here, basically the iterable, and we print x. Okay, so it will just print the characters T, V, and C. Okay, let's say iteration through a range. Now you'll understand the work of range. Okay, let's say for x in range 5. Okay, colon print x. Save. So it should print from 0 to 4. See, it's printing 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now using for loop and if statement, using for loop and if statement. Okay, so like we are running a loop using a range, and also what we are trying to do is using a condition. Okay, means it will not print everything in a range, rather it will print certain characters or those items in the range which will satisfy a particular condition. Okay, in this case, let's see, print the numbers. Okay, that are multiples of 6. Okay, um within a range of uh let's see, you can manually do till 20, 30, 40, whatever. Okay, but let's say a big number, 1,000. Okay, so what we will do is for x in range, it's 1,000 here. Okay, okay, and then we give the condition, of course, x. Modulus 6. As we know, this is used for checking the divisibility. Okay, then we print x. Let's see what it gives. If no error, no error. Yeah, perfect. So it gave a lot of numbers. So if we just reduce it to like 10, or let's say big number 50. Okay, yeah. So now it gave all the digits that are divisible by 50 within the range of 1000. Okay, so this is how you use for loop with the if with the conditional statement. Okay, to learn more about conditional statement, you'll see the recordings. Of course, I'll send you soon after the class. Okay, you have asked a doubt. Yes, please ask.
So instead of giving a range, if I assign a group of say I made a list and I assign
Yes,
that list to the for loop.
yes, yes, you can, as I've
Uh,
shown you.
so if I'm doing it here, say I took list of some numbers and I
Mm-hmm.
just wrote it for x in A. Then I
Yes,
used an if loop in that.
yes,
So I
yes.
use supposing if x is less than greater than 400, then print x.
Yeah.
But then it is showing me a syntax error.
Okay, can you
Uh,
share the screen and show me the error? We can solve it right now.
okay, okay. I think it is expecting me a colon even after the print
Okay,
statement.
okay, then just send the screenshot in the group.
Okay, yes, still error. Wait.
Send in the group. I'll just see and tell you right now what is the error.
Okay. Can I share the screen with you?
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes, of course you can.
Okay. Wait.
Yeah, you can share your screen. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, made a. Okay, there is an indentation error, not colon. Print the use the indentation on print. Like click on print before the cursor before print, and use tab key or something. Tab key 4 times. It should work after that. The red underline will go. Use space or the tab key. Yes, it has. Now it will. Now save it and run. Save then run. Control S then you run. It worked, right? Yeah, it worked. Is your doubt clear?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
I'm just trying to figure out why did this happen. Like,
Okay, that happened because of indentation error. So
yeah.
indentation error is something that in a syntax, okay, every statement that you write cannot begin from where the previous statement started. So uh, let me
Yeah.
explain you. This happens because when you are using for say conditional statements, or let's say loops that we are learning now,
Yes.
they basically declare a block of code, a beginning of a block. Okay, inside that, inside the conditional statements that you have just written, or inside the loop that you have just declared, okay, that will execute another specific set of code. Okay, so in order to let the machine understand that, the indentation has to be given. Okay,
Okay.
if like you use if statement, give a condition and then print right below if, the machine will think the print statement is separate and independent of the if statement. Okay, so in
Okay.
that case it will not be able to process it, and that will show an error. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but if you are giving an indentation, okay, now the machine will understand, okay, this print statement is basically something that will result from the if statement, from the
Okay.
conditional statement. So that's when it will work properly. So that is indentation error. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more
Thank you.
doubts? Then
No.
we will. Okay. Manisha, I hope you're understanding. We can then move ahead. See, we have done the more important for loops, range, and while loop. Okay. Now let's do a simple uh problem. Like, okay, I just share the screen. Basically, the concept of loops is done. Now we will do problems, and any concept that comes up in between we will explain that. Okay, but the primary thing is done. If you're clear with what I have told you till now, okay, the primary concept or basic concept of loops is will be then clear to you. Now we will be doing problems, and the concept will be more clear. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay. Now let's say we will print table of a number. Okay, that like I just said in the beginning, that will help you understand better. Okay, let's say first I'll declare a variable is equal to n, and let's say I want to print a table of 5. Okay, then now see, table of 5, if you are printing the multiples of 5 till 10 or 20, you will think that this is an easy task, even I can do it. So where does Python plays a role? So of course Python plays a role in doing the complicated things. Let's say for example, uh, mm, a big number, let's say 599. Okay, 593. Okay, and let's say now I'll give the range I. So, okay, first I'll give the easy one, then I'll complicate this. I is equal to 1, so it will start from 1. Okay, then we will give the condition. Say, let's say while I less than equals to 10 colon, okay, print n multiplied by I, then it will give end separate statement so as to print them in same line, and then I is equal to 1. This is the increment operator. Okay, if you want to use the decrement operator, then you will give this. Okay, but it's increment operator. We will do one problem right now on that also. Yeah. See, it will give from 1 5 ones are 1, 5 twos are 10, 5 threes are 50, like that, 5 twos are 50. But this is something easy thing, right? You can all do it. Let's take a complicated one. Let's start from 16. Okay, so 19. Okay, it's 29 or 39, whatever. Let's and I less than is equal to 1000, something like that. Okay, and we will increment it by 9. Let's say what it gives. Oh, see, the complicated this will help you do the complicated stuff. Okay, so that is the role of Python here, uh doing the complicated stuff. So let's say we decrease it and less than equals. Let's see what it gives now. We have used a decrement operator and we are given greater than is equal to 1000, so it will go in reverse. So now it has given me in reverse. Okay, this shouldn't come. Wait, what happened? Okay. Oh, so in this case it has to be 1000 because a bigger number is wanted, right? Or let's say lakh. Now I think it should work properly because below that there is a number. It's not working. Then I think we should use increment operator only. And in this case, obviously, okay, in this case, nothing is working. Only this will do. It's 1000. Yeah. Yeah, okay, only this will work because in reverse it can't go in the negative and all. So that is a problem. Okay. Or you can make a function for that with complex numbers and all. Okay, to handle those things. Okay. So now let's say, mm, yeah, please ask.
In the print statement,
Mm-hmm.
why did you write at the end and semicolon? Not semicolon.
Wait.
In the print statement.
Oh, this one.
Yes, yes,
Oh, this is used to print the numbers in one line. Now let's say you have not given this. Okay.
yes.
Let's just make it a simple one now. I is equal to 1 and is equal to 10. Okay. It's to 1. So what will happen? You can see yourself. This will give it different lines. Okay. But
Okay.
yeah. So what happens, like when we did that complicated that big multiplication table, na?
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't use an end statement, that will give so many lines. So that is basically, eating up your storage spaces, and then you have to scroll down and down and down to see what are the results. Okay. So in order to make them in same line, we use the end operator. That's all. End
Oh,
statement.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now the use of break and continue statements. Okay. Huh. So what happens? Just wait a minute. So what happens often, it when we're using loops and then conditional statements, even if you it has got the proper result, the code will keep continue executing, often resulting in infinite loops. Okay. So in order to avoid that, we use break statement, so that as soon as the you get the result that you wanted, okay, the program will stop right then and there. Okay, let's say I've declared a value, say 15. Okay, and then we use for loops for x in range, and say in the range what we do is, okay, in the range statement you should know this. The syntax of range is start then stop, which means if you give uh for say 0 to 5, what happens, it will start from 0 but it will stop at 4. Okay, it will not stop at 5. If you want to stop it at 5, you have to give it 6. Okay, that's how the range statement works. Okay, so in this case, let's say we start from 2 but we end at n plus 1, which means let's say 15 plus 1 16. Okay, now we are doing this, why we are doing this, see, there is an error. Just say, I'll just write it here. Okay. Okay, so let's say if I'm giving a condition in modulus x. Okay, we have given the x, so x is basically the numbers in this range, and we have declared a variable 15. So now we will check the number 15, divisibility of number 15 by the numbers that is in the given range. So we write x, okay, 0, then we give print x. Okay, now what I'll do is I won't write the break statement here. Okay, and you will see what happens when things like this, conditions like these are terms like these are given in the conditions like n plus 1 or n or something. It basically keeps on just what does it mean? It means every time it will just increase by 1, another time 15, 16, 17, it just so it will just keep going and on and on. Okay, but you have to break it at certain point, okay, where it is 0. Okay, so let's say I will not give the break statement here. I'll just execute the code. What? Not this. 5 3 15. Okay, it should break at basically here 3 only. Okay, means 2 3, it should end at 3, so but it hasn't ended at 3, so now we give the break statement here. So it has ended right here, but last time it continued till, for more numbers. So it started from 5 10 15 20 25, and then it finally ended up, and so this is a, sorry, this is a table. So it ended right at 3, but it before it was see, I'll delete break statement. Before it was 3 5 and 15. Okay, so it kept continuing till 15, but we wanted only 3. So you have understood the break statement now. Let's do another problem. Okay, I'll write the break. Sorry, break. Let's declare another variable. N is equal to 15 or say 16, whatever. Okay. Now you declare 2 also. Okay. Now while the condition here, x less than is equal to n. Okay. Which means, and it will stop at 6. It should stop at 16. N modulus x. It will check the divisibility. Then we print x. Okay, first we see where it ends, then you will go ahead with the statement needed. Okay, so now it is a, yeah, that's what I was saying. It is an infinite, now it is forming an infinite loop. Okay, so in order to avoid an infinite loop, what we do is use the break statement. Simple. Oh, sorry. Now I'll run it. Yeah, so it ended at right at 2. Okay. But as you saw last time, when I didn't use a break statement, it was an infinite loop. It just kept going on and on and on. Okay. So that is the use of break statement to avoid these kind of situations. Okay, let's do just another problem here. Say we declare I is equal to 1. Then while I less than is equal to 5, if I equals to 3. Okay. So we don't use break, we use print I. Okay, we should use a break here, but let's don't use, let's say what it gives. It should give an infinite loop, if I'm not wrong. Okay, just print I. So the output will be 1 2 and 3. Yeah, so it will give 1 1 1 1 and 2 2 2 2 3 3 3 3 like that. But let's say we will do break. Now we will use a break statement here, and now we will run it. Okay, we will not run this. Okay, so it is 1 and 2. The condition is Still not happening. Wait, there is an error I have done. Print I. Okay, print I, the statement is important. Of course. So don't print I, right? Save. Let's run it again. Uh-huh. Just run this program on your end. Copy. Wait. Same thing. Do it on your console. Sorry. The compiler. Tell me what is it given. It shouldn't come like this. It should print. The loop should print one and two, and then I becomes true. It will be true. So it will stop right there. Right at three. It should stop right at three. Alimem, are you doing this?
Yes.
Yeah, please copy paste on see what is coming. The output should be one, two, three, okay? Separate lines. I'll run this on program is on compiler. I am doing some syntax error. Clear. The indentation error. Okay. Wait. Let's see.
It is printing 1 and 2.
It's printing, right? Then I
But
have
I
done.
skipped the last line, the last print. Print.
Okay. I have done some error. Wait. I'll just rectify it. I have done the indentation error. I is equal to I plus 1. It should stop right at 3. So print I, run. Yeah, one, two, and 3. Yeah, okay. So if I remove this, then run 2 and 3. Yeah, okay. I gave the indentation error at break statement. That's why. Okay, I think I've understood this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Then we will go with the continue statement. Okay. So continue statement is basically like a jump statement. Okay, like it's for skipping values. Okay. For example, they allow us basically they help us to skip certain iterations based on the condition that we give. For example, if we give a list of 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 15, and we just print the numbers that are not multiples of 5, then we can use this statement and print the numbers like 16, 17, 18, 19, like that. Okay, let's take an example only directly. Let's take an example. L is equal to declaring a list. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Cool. No, no, let's 12, 25, 30, 44, 67, 75, 90. Okay, let's only this. Then we will give a give me a minute. Say for x in L. Okay, if x, let's say we want to print only the multiples of 5. Okay, modulus 5 is to 0. We continue. Okay, then we just print x. Save, execute. Yeah, so it has printed the ones which are not the multiples of 5. Okay, because it is a jump statement, so whichever was multiple of 5, it just skipped all of them. Okay, and it printed us the items in the list which were non multiples of 5. So that is what a continuous statement is used for. There is nothing much to it. Okay, we have to mainly go for now the nested loops. Okay. Okay, so in nested loops, we use one loop inside another loop. So like mixing, so for example, like mixing for and while loops, okay, or mixing two for loops. Like for example, uh, if we take program of print the tables, the first 10 numbers. Okay, so now, in order to do this, first we start a loop for I in range. 1 to 6. Okay, then inside this we will give another. I'll explain why and what we are doing. Just give me a minute. For j in range I, comma, multiplied by 10 plus 1 for incrementing, comma I. Okay. Now this might be new to this type of range. I'll tell you. Just hold on. Print j. Then we give the end statement space. Finally print. So as to return. Okay. Now let me tell you the outer loop, which is this one. It This is the outer loop. Okay, it runs from 1 to 5. Okay, and it represents each number for which the table is to be printed. This is the inner loop. It runs from the current value of I to I multiplied by 10 plus 1, which is incrementing by I. The third I here is basically the incrementing factor. Okay, you can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. But in this case, we are choosing I to be an incrementing factor. So what happens is generates the multiples of I up to 10I. Okay. So what this will give? Okay, this is giving from 1 to 5. Let's say we have given the range 1 to 6, which means it will stop at 5, right? Means it will give the last 5, so, and it will give us the multiple of like 1 to 5, like the 10 multiples. Okay, so till 10, 1 into 10, 2 into 10, 3 into 10, like that. So how we did this? So we had to use a nested loops. So the first step was to, you know, define a range ki how many you know, for how many numbers we want the multiples of 10. Okay, so like for how many numbers from 1 to 5, 1 to 6, 1 to 10, we could have given here 11. Okay, and we could have given like 20. Okay, incrementing factor, see, and it will give us from 1 to 10 till multiples of 20. Okay, so yeah, this is one example of nested loop. Okay, moreover, let's see using for and while loops. Okay, for example, let's think of an example. Yeah, okay, let's do like this. For I in range, I'm doing something random. Okay, for I in range, just to explain, mixing of while, mixing for and while loops. Let's see, I'm doing something random. If it works out, great. We'll stop at 3, nothing big. Then we will declare j is equal to 1 and start the while j less than 3, give the conditional test. Okay, then leave incrementing factor j plus 1, and then finally print, let's say tvc. Simple. Let's see what it gives. It should give like 1 1 2, then tvc, then 2 1 2 2, and tvc, like that. Okay, because it's stopping at 3. If we let me show you that. Okay, it will give only tvc 2 times, right? But it couldn't be the output like this. I may have done something wrong. I have done something. This is random. Obviously, this will be the answer. Okay, fine. So what was so the first one? So the first outer loop, it was defining the range key, the number of times that it should be printed, and the second loop was for incrementing it. Okay, how many times it will be printed. So that was the main motto here. But we will do some real problems in order to understand this. Let's do another problem. Let's say traversing lists, using lists, traversing lists. Okay, say L is equal to 1. I'll give 10, 20, 30, 40. Then another list, okay, sorry, 50, 70, last one, 80, 90, 100. Okay, so after that, okay, for mm, I in L, okay, I is a counter variable. Then for X in I, which is X is a counter variable for I. Okay, then we print X. I don't know what will be the answer. I'll just see. Wait. In my guess, it should give the lists in different lines. When we will be doing functions, we will be going in detail into loops, because that's when it will be more useful. Actually, right now we are doing the basics here. So if this is done, it will be enough for today. Yeah, so it is giving all the lists in a in separate lines. So this is how nested loops are used. Basically, this is a list of lists. Okay, the outer loop iterates through each sublist. Okay, which is this one. Okay, let me just mention here. Outer loop iterates through each sublist. Okay, the inner loop iterates through each item in the sublist. Through each item in the sublist. Okay, and finally printing. So this was it, the nested loops thing. We will dive more into nested loops tomorrow with more examples where you will learn, okay, like printing various type of patterns, sequences, like Fibonacci numbers, checking prime optimization, printing star patterns and stuff like that. Okay. For today, I think